Hey, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in to Soul Radio USA, also Behind the Groove. Today we're here at the Park City, Utah, at the Park City Songwriters Festival, and we're going to interview some of the songwriters. Thank you, and continue to tune in. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Behind the Groove. We're here with Rick Gerber. That's correct. Is that correct?
That is correct, my friend.
Okay, pronunciation. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this interview.
My pleasure.
Rick, what brings you to the Park City Songwriters Festival?
Probably in a nutshell, I've been working with a producer, one of the first real producers in the music business that has discovered me, and he's been working with me, and he sends me just random things. And he sent me the advertisement, and apparently they were using a picture of me. And,
without your knowledge?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
but you're happy now.
Oh yeah, no, and so I reached out, and it turned out I knew one of the owners of the O.P. Rockwell, Scott. Mm-hmm. He's a great man, and I said, hey, I'd like to be part of this. Apparently, he's like, well, you're already on it. I was like, oh, I am. And then I was already booked out. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I would have just stayed the whole weekend here and been here. But you got to hustle and make your money. So I've been playing gigs all over and then racing back here to be here. So I found out about it just through chance, through my producer, and it just all kind of connected. Mm-hmm. And the people that are doing it are very committed to it, and they're very into it. And it's been nice. I wish I could have been here more. Okay. Been part of it more.
Have you seen some of the shows?
Yes, I have.
Who's your favorite so far?
I literally, yesterday I played the Spur. I did the singer-songwriter in the round with Morgan Snow and Brooke McIntosh, two local singer-songwriters, great in their own right. And then after some three other people got up there, and I don't know their names. I was pretty much, to the next gig in my head. So I stayed and listened to one song from each of them, and then went up the road with Morgan, who I played with, and we saw three other guys, and I stayed for three of their songs, and then I had to move on. Right. To play my gigs, so I didn't get their names. Everything just happened so fast.
It always does in music.
It always does.
But hey, that's the love of music. That's what we have. That's what we're doing.
It is.
One of the things I wanted to ask you was, how long have you been in the business?
20 years.
20 years. Always a songwriter, musician.
Always a songwriter.
Okay. Do you have any songs that are on the charts? Have been on the charts that you've written, or a famous person has played it? Not that you're not famous, but you're taking it to the next level and becoming.
No. I just, at the end of the day, my friend, I think it just keeps me sane to keep writing. Mm-hmm. I don't know what all these people are doing.
Oh, really?
I mean, in the long run, it's something that just feeds my soul, and I've written a lot of songs. Yeah. I've written songs for a lot of local artists. Okay. And been a studio musician for a lot of local artists, but I've never, branched out. Maybe soon. I'm working with David Radcliffe. He's a big producer out of LA, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the second time I've heard this gentleman's name, and actually, we need to bring him on the show, maybe with you.
I would love that. He would love that. He would be honored. He's a good man. Yeah. And and we're in the middle of selling one of my songs right now. We'll see what happens. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not going to stop doing this. Okay. I quit my day job to do.
What was your day job?
I was a teacher.
Teacher of what?
Special ed.
Special ed. We need more people like you to teach that.
Oh yeah, but it's the red tape and the rhetoric and all the hoopla that comes with it. It's really hard to be in that. And there's no money in it. I make more money on any given month hustling gigs than I ever made as a teacher. Ever.
Wow. That's amazing.
I make twice as much money in just playing gigs. I don't have music on for sale on, my records are for sale on the music
Spotify.
Platform. Yeah, but that's nothing. That's pennies to the dollar.
Right. Nowadays it's changed since it used to be. Now they give, like, if you got YouTube plays or SoundCloud or
I have a hard time with that stuff.
Okay. So you're like the grassroots.
I am.
Yeah, that's
not that I want that. It's just that's what I've always been. Right. And the YouTube sensations, people always told me to do that or get on The Voice. I've never even seen The Voice. Okay. I don't know.
What's your style of music?
Mainly, at the end of the day, rock and roll, but soul and funk. I've written a lot of that, but at the end of the day, it's definitely rock and roll. It always comes back to rock and roll. Okay. You could even consider some of Stevie Wonder stuff rock and roll.
Right. So, actually, a lot of it. Actually. Yeah. Obviously.
I'm gonna.
Look at that, people. That's to show you it's live and full effect. That's the old school phone that you can pick up like that, and you can't do that with an old school.
I'm just old school. Everywhere I go, it's archaic for me.
And basically, who is your influences? Who would you say is your influence?
One of my main influences when I started to write songs was Van Morrison, and then I kind of my age were in the '90s. Growing up in the '90s, hi.
Welcome to Azevedo Studios in the heart of Salt Lake City, Utah. Let's take a look inside.
This is the lobby to the 8,700 square foot recording studio, where numerous productions are recorded and filmed on a daily basis.
Designed by Lex de Azevedo, the world-famous musical composer, he thought of everything the artist would want.
A professional sound booth, control room with state-of-the-art equipment, a production stage, an editor's bay, production room, and a large office space.
Upstairs, there is a New York studio-style condo.
This fully furnished living room has a gas fireplace, stainless steel appliances, and marble countertops, separate shower and tub, and a walk-in closet. Brand new washer and dryer. All of this is located in Salt Lake City, Utah.
I was gonna buy you some diamond, yeah. Time got away from me. I was gonna take you to Disneyland. Time got away from me. I was gonna tell you everything. Time got away from me. When shit hits the fan, yeah, I'm still your man. It's true. Gonna rev it up. It's what you do to me, Time got away from me. Time got away from me. I was gonna wake up singing the blues. I'm done waiting around for you. Gonna whisper in your ear, I'm done waiting around for you. Not gonna pick up, standing in line because I'm done waiting around for you. We'll size you up until you had enough. Yeah, I'm rooting for you. It's what you do to me, I was gonna buy you tickets to Spain. Time got away from me. I was gonna whistle in your ear. Time got away from me. I was gonna shake all my sin. Time got away from me. I'm all wound up, just like a cuckoo clock. When the clock strikes 12, it's what you do to me, short break. We'll be right back after these messages. Downtown Love Note Massacre.
So Van Morrison influenced me, and then I started doing like the jam band thing, and I went on tour with a band called Tanglewood, and we toured all over, and it was fun. But I was restless, and I always just liked the songwriting thing. And one day I was in San Francisco, and I was playing mandolin in this band. I was jam band mandolin. I know, weird. And I was hearing this music over the radio, and I went up to the bartender and I'm like, "What is this music?" I was like, "It's the Kinks." And I was like, "The Kinks?" You know, I'm thinking Lola, and it was the Kinks are the Village Green Preservation Society. And I literally, after I got off that tour, I went home and I just forsook all that jam band stuff, and I started just delving deep into like Brian Wilson and David Bowie, and you know, I've always been a Beatles fan since I can remember.
Okay.
But yeah, and then of course at some point in between there, my friend gave me Songs in the Keys of Life, Stevie Wonder, and I think I listened to that for a year, and I didn't listen to anything else. And I was like, I couldn't understand. I was like, how did he do this? And there still has not been an album like that.
No.
There's not.
We just did an event with that album as a focal point. Actually, 2015, when we shot a film called Michael Jackson's Journey from Motown to Off the Wall, Stevie Wonder was part of that.
Where can I would love to see that. I grew up with Michael Jackson. Like,
okay.
I will not forsake him.
Netflix. It was on
It's
Showtime.
on Netflix.
Yes, good movie.
I can't wait.
Spike Lee was the director.
Really?
I worked on the project, yes. Gregory Filling Gaines, which was Michael Jackson's music director. Jonathan Moffat was his drummer. He's part of the film. Mark Ronson was on it. On the film.
Yeah.
Questlove was in it. Pharrell,
of course,
was in it. A lot of people. One of my artists, her name is Suzette Green. She wrote a track for Michael Jackson called "I Can't Help It." It's on his Off the Wall album. That's what the film
is. Off the Wall is his best.
It's one of his best.
Yes.
Most people who really know Michael understand that was his best.
Yeah, it's his best. Thriller was. I was a child. I had the jacket. I had the glove.
The zippers.
I got my ass kicked in school for wearing that shit.
Did you?
But I didn't give a damn.
What school did you go to?
This was after we moved out of Chicago. My dad had passed, and
sorry to hear that.
That's okay. My mom remarried, and my dad, who is raised me, he's my dad. He's supported all my music since day one. So, but we moved to Arizona, so I was in Arizona, and I was in middle school. No, I was in elementary school, walking around with a Michael Jackson jacket on. I had the beat jacket and the glove, and I got a lot of flack for it.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I was, I don't know. It didn't matter though.
Right.
It didn't matter. Like, Michael Jackson was my hero.
Mine too at the time.
He's still my hero. Whatever happened in his personal life, that's his business, and I don't give a damn.
Thank you for saying that.
His music and what he did, and he was like Elvis. He was, Elvis had all of his bullshit, but Elvis was amazing.
Right.
They were both amazing performers, and I will never forsake that. Right. Ever.
And to be honest, to me, Michael Jackson is the best performer of all time. In my opinion, I'm just speaking to
singer. There's an old video, and it's one of my favorite videos. I recently saw it a year or two ago, and Prince is next to Michael Jackson.
There you go.
I have a hard time balancing the two.
The same.
So there's I love that
for sure.
So there's this video, and James Brown, he's performing, and he calls up Michael Jackson, and this is Michael like in his prime, and he calls up Michael, and Michael does his impersonation he does the whole James Brown thing, and does the singing, and does it, and then he walks over to James Brown, and he whispers, this is before Prince is big, before even his first record, and he walks up and he whispers in James Brown's ear, and then James Brown's like, okay, and he calls up, he's like, we'd like to bring up a young man named Prince, and Prince comes on his big biker bodyguard's back, the guy's carrying him on the stage, he gets on stage, he picks up the guitar, rips the guitar, then he does moves that even, I'm going to say it, that even show up Michael Jackson and James Brown. And he does it all, and he just shows them up, and they're both just like, have you seen this?
No. I'm going to look it on YouTube.
It is one of the most, it's incredible. So those boys, that was a big inspiration for me. Getting out of getting out of like the jam band thing, and I started listening to punk when I really noticed music. And my dad turned me on to like Pink Floyd and all that stuff, and then I got into that. Then I went into the jam band thing, and then I got away from that, and it was just, you know, R&B, soul, funk, and rock. You know, the Beatles, most of all, the Beatles.
A lot of people love the Beatles. I like the Beatles. They were the British explosion. And then, if you know, I don't know if you know who, what's his name? Joe Cocker?
Of course.
Okay.
Love Joe Cocker.
So some of my artists have performed with Joe Cocker.
Oh, wow.
And
I'm a huge fan of Joe Cocker. He's another Elvis Michael Jackson. Like, he didn't write his music, but he was such a good performer. He was so there. Like,
and people didn't understand him,
no,
though. At the
people
beginning.
didn't.
And they were like, what's this guy doing on stage? He's making all these movements. Does he have Tourette syndrome and all that? But yes, Mary Clayton performed with them. My other artists.
He did a lot of Beatles.
Yes, he did.
She came in through the bathroom window. I think he did that almost better than the Beatles.
There's a lot of artists that do covers, and the cover is bigger. Like Whitney Houston did a cover of Dolly Parton's song, and people didn't know.
It's so funny that people don't know that's Dolly Parton. And don't get me wrong, I actually performed that song. If you're here tonight, I'll do it for you. I love Dolly Parton, I love Whitney Houston. I can't decipher the two. They're both so good on that song.
Right.
Oh my God.
So what
we're just talking shop here.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's how this show is.
Okay, good.
What got you into music?
I started drawing comic books. I really wanted to be a comic book
Animator?
artist and writer. Yeah, and that's what I did. And then when I was 16 or 17, I got in trouble selling acid. So my mom sent me to Hawaii.
To sell more.
Sent me to Hawaii, and I was living there, and I met this cat, and he was playing guitar, and we were living in these dorms, and I was picking pineapple, and the whole thing, and he was playing guitar, and I was really inspired, and he was like turning me on to Leon Russell and Joe Cocker, actually, Mad Dogs and Englishmen. He turned me on to that, and I was just like, I was enthralled, and I didn't want to draw anymore. I wanted to do that, and so he taught me The Yellow Submarine by the Beatles. That was the first song I ever learned, and then he gave me a harmonica, and then I just never looked back.
So you can play harmonica also?
Yeah, I'm multi-instrumentalist.
So you're almost like Prince. Because you know Prince, to me, Prince is probably,
like Prince.
He was probably one of the best musicians who could play pretty much every instrument.
So they asked Eric Clapton, they said, how does it feel to be the greatest guitar player in the world? And he was like, I don't know, go ask Prince.
I can believe that. Prince.
Hands down.
Yes.
Hands down.
I would agree.
Dude, his piano
Because people don't really give him the credit for playing guitar or any other music.
And he wrote music for Sade, he wrote music for Stevie Nicks, he wrote music for everyone.
Yeah.
Just like Stevie.
Sinead O'Connor.
I love that song, and his version is amazing.
Yes.
I actually performed that song. I love that song.
Yeah.
I perform a lot of Prince. I love Prince.
Prince, 1984 was the bomb year for Prince. Yeah. If anybody knows Purple Rain, that tour was in 1984. I actually attended that tour. And
really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Prince. Roger Nelson was an excellent artist.
Prince Roger Nelson. Yeah, he when he died, it was one of the hard. Him and Tom Petty were really hard for me, and Bowie was hard, and Lou Reed was hard for me, but they had done it, and I felt like Tom Petty and Prince had so much more. And it's really sad, and they both went the same way. And my latest record that I released last year was dedicated to them. Prince and Tom Petty and Bowie.
Wow! So a friend of mine did The Man Who Fell to Earth. The movie with David Bowie.
I love B movies. I love that movie. I own it.
Really?
Oh yeah.
A friend of mine, his name is Cy. He produced it.
Really?
He produced that and Clockwork Orange. Yes.
Anthony Burgess wrote Clockwork Orange, and A Clockwork Orange is one of my favorite book to film to soundtrack.
Really?
It's just. I love the book, and I love Anthony Burgess. He was a great contemporary writer of his time, and then of course, who's our director who did all those movies, 2001: Space Odyssey. That's an intense time. That was an intense soundtrack and an intense film and a very intense book. So
yes,
that's really cool that you actually have that tie.
Yes,
that's incredible to me.
Actually, he was Andy Warhol's attorney also.
Really?
Really.
not the biggest Andy Warhol fan, but I love Velvet Underground and all the other stuff that came out of that.
Yeah, how about the Brando? He has a Brando painting that I actually had in my possession for about 2 months.
Really?
Yes, painted beaded seed, one of a kind, 1959. Yes,
Wow.
yes.
You don't seem old enough to have all those ties.
Well, it's fortunate that I have these ties because I've learned from a lot of people who are they're not mentors, but they're people I respect in the business, in entertainment business, whether music, whether television, whether film, writing, authors, it doesn't matter. I just respect people who are trying to do something, educate the youth and people. And that's what our show right now is about, is educating youth through music. And we want to help people learn more because they've taken
universal.
Music is the soul
It's
to
a
everything.
universal language.
And
It's
everybody
the one
loves
thing
music.
everyone understands.
Everyone.
Everyone.
It doesn't matter what it
hear,
is.
I mean, you can hear Portuguese music and you can still love it. You don't have to understand. So, you're in film. So, The Life Aquatic, a film by Wes Anderson.
Yes.
Sir George. He's in that film, and he's through the whole film he's playing David Bowie in Portuguese. Okay, and he was in City of God. He's an amazing
City
actor.
of God, what a movie.
Okay, he was the reporter, the young reporter who falls in love with the girl.
Yes.
He's like the main character. That's Sue George. He's huge, and I actually saw him last time he came through. Oh my God, mwah. He's so wonderful. So he did all of the Bowie. He did the whole soundtrack for The Life Aquatic. It's a Bill Murray movie. Everyone loves Bill.
Yeah.
And so he's
He
singing.
gets all those off the wall roles, but he's good.
Bill Murray for president. So anyway, Sue
He
George,
would.
through the whole film, Sue George is playing his flamenco guitar, singing David Bowie in Portuguese. I guess my point is, he released that album, and I went and bought it on vinyl. I'm a huge vinyl guy. Took it home, put it on, and I'm just listening to this album of David Bowie, who I covet and love, and I could understand. I understood Portuguese. I'm like sitting here listening to this record in Portuguese, and I knew every word.
Wow, that's
You know what I mean? And so it's
You
just
could
it's
feel
so
it.
universal.
You could feel it.
But I knew all the lyrics. I know Bowie so well, and so here's this man, Sue George, playing David Bowie in Portuguese, and I'm just listening, and it's like I can hear what he's saying. I'm understanding another language through music.
That's how it goes.
It is how it goes.
It's the life of music.
It is how it goes.
Period.
And as a special ed teacher, working with special needs, that was the one thing that all of them related to. Whether it was modern country or rap or whatever, they understood it and they communicated through it, so intensely.
Looking for a luxurious retreat from the heat? Then consider purchasing this one-of-a-kind mansion which sleeps 40 plus and is located in a popular Las Vegas vacation destination in the Utah mountains.
Welcome to Cielo Santo, the true mountain luxury living and lifestyle you've been looking for.
As you will see, this isn't your ordinary property. This lavish double villa estate, designed by renowned architect David Harris, built with excellent materials and craftsmanship, includes a gourmet kitchen with wolf ranges and ovens, vaulted ceilings over gathering areas, multiple fireplaces, 19 bedrooms and 18 bathrooms, with interior furnishings included. Gated on 20 2/3 acres, barbecue areas, and custom chandeliers, covered walkways, covered hot tub, and a private trout pond for fishing, 2 saunas, and a steam room, indoor swimming pool, 16-seat theater, and an indoor waterfall. All of this with scenic mountain views.
Under the sacred sky of Cielo Santo, adventure is at your doorstep.
Skiing close by at Bryan Head Resort and Bryce Canyon National Park, hiking and bicycling. There's also equestrian facilities for horseback riding. This 6-stall barn has a 3-bedroom and 2-bath caretaker living quarters above. An ATV is included for plenty of outdoor adventures. Panguitch Lake is located less than a mile away. This estate is perfect for families and corporate events. Located between Las Vegas and Salt Lake City, with St. George International Airport 1.5 hours away.
This is The Lifestyle at Cielo Santo. Thank you for joining. This is Heather Schultz with Engel & Volkers.